All right, welcome back into Union Station. We are here with head coach Kirk Ferentz. We've talked a lot about the offense. We're going to switch sides of the ball, specifically at linebacker. You obviously graduated a lot of leadership. Even before then, Jay and Nick Jackson were learning from the Jack Campbells, the Seth Bensons. Where does this group sit right now?
It's really interesting. You just brought up the names. Think about Campbell and Benson both played together at least 3 years, I think. Now you got Jay and Nick the same way following that, and those guys were very veteran. I really, I know who will start when we start in August at linebacker, but I truly think it's an interesting position. You just don't know who's going to play how. So it's, Jaden Harrell's done a really nice job. And he's been a backup, and he's been on special teams, smart, works at it. So I know he's really eager to go. Carson Chars had some injury problems, but had a really good spring. He was on the field, missed a little time the first week, and then was out there and did a great job. Jackson Rexroth on the outside did a good job. So, but it's a pool right now, probably of 6, 7, 8 guys that I think are in contention. They'll all play on special teams, and then who ends up being the starters, we'll see how it goes. But I like the group. They just need to play.
Yeah, it's a challenge every year when you start to go, oh yeah, look at Josie Jewell. He played, and then Jack Campbell steps in, and then now Jay Higgins. It's become this attrition by first team All-American here, but you're going to have to replace that. The secondary is also very fascinating to me because you lose some guys, but you also I've seen like Cohen Entringer and Zach Lutmer are two guys that I think are really. They look the part, and in Zach's case, he looks like he's playing above his age in some ways. And Cohen, he reminds me of a Micah Hyde, if I dare say. So when you look at the secondary, how do you think it fits right now? And do you have enough pieces or pieces you like if you needed to play tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we need more numbers probably, but you just touched on it. Xavier has played a lot of football.
Yeah.
The other two guys you talked about haven't played a lot, but you feel like they're veterans. And Lutmer's really not a veteran yet, but he's really sharp. He pays attention, and all three of those guys have good ability for their position. So as we play a lot of 5 DBs now, so I'm guessing all three of them are going to be on the field a lot together. Feel good about that group. We have to work to develop the depth there. Cale Caloric's done a really nice job. He has made a huge jump. He just, and part of it is knowing what to do, and it's true at every position, but compared to where he was even last fall, he's playing a lot faster. I think that's experience. He's probably in better shape, stronger, and all that stuff, but playing faster too, so he's done a really good job there. But, we never have enough guys. That's how it always is, and we'll see what we can do there.
Preston Reese, he's a local guy, but saw that he had the squat record. A lot of people are like, whoa, when they saw, the number that he was squatting. His teammates called it kind of that farm strong in him. It makes sense. What have you seen maybe about his work ethic that kind of fits with your program?
It's outstanding. And strength and conditioning, the strength program is extremely important. But just because you're good in that doesn't always, mean you're going to be a great football player. But in his case, all the things that he's done in that room, they've transferred out to the football field. He's really got a good future. He's learning right now, the system and just all the calls. There's a lot of intricate things that get done up there and communicated. But, he's got a great attitude, runs really well. He's aggressive and tough. He's got every attribute you're looking for. So to me, it's just a matter of him getting comfortable with what we're doing. And he's off to a great start. It was a really good spring for him.
Yeah, when you look at 4 guys broke program squat records in their age group. You had Reese, you had Rexroth, you had Logan Jones set the whole time record, 705 pounds. That's just amazing. and Dunker is right there with him. I'm sure he was heartbroken he lost. So, because the way those guys talk to each other. So, I guess when you talk about Ray Braithwaite, and he had to step in maybe one of the toughest situations, but he seems to he has come through. And really well in his position.
Yeah, and Ray's been here a long time. He just had the little hiatus. He was out of Delaware State, but actually working for a guy I worked with, Alabama, great guy. But Ray, that job is, you've heard me say it before, that job is just so critical, I think, in any college football program. You're not ever going to say, this guy's more important than that guy, but where his job and role is so important. He interfaces with everybody on our football team, offense, defense, special teams. It doesn't matter. He's coaching everybody. And then in the strength program, to me, it's an opportunity to just kind of set the tempo and expectations for the way we try to do things. It's not just when you go out on the football field. And we want our players to understand there's just a way you operate, being on time. If you're supposed to be behind the line, you're behind the line.
Yeah.
All these little things, and Ray and his staff do a great job. It's not by accident. I mean, Ray does a great job working with his staff. They have a clear picture of what we're looking for. And then, obviously you want somebody with great expertise, and it doesn't just come his way. He works at it. Ray really works at it, very conscientious, talks to a lot of people in the profession, and I just feel very fortunate. We've had a really good strength and conditioning program for quite some time, and Ray's done nothing but even fortify it. So it's been really good.
This unit always kind of grabs national attention in a good way. They're always kind of known to be one of the top in the country. But how do you continuously elevate? And I know there's new pieces coming into it, but how do you continue kind of elevate them just every single year?
Well, who's that?
Phil Parker.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking about special teams.
Oh,
I thought
I'm
you were going to
sorry.
go down that road.
Oh, sorry. We can go that way too.
But the defensive group, I'm sorry. Yeah, but, those are things that we tried to build the program on. Talked about strength conditioning. That was huge. Special teams only because I felt like we could get faster or, better at those faster than we could in the other areas. But I just, I'll go to my grave believing that in any sport, it all starts with defense. And that's just, I guess, my background. But I know this in baseball, if you let the ball go through your legs or you can't track down fly balls in the alleys, and if you walk people or hit them, you're not going to win a lot of games. And it's kind of the same way in football. You just have to make people work for whatever they're going to get. And, we have an excellent staff. Norm Parker set the tempo 26 plus years ago. Phil's been on the job, from day one, basically. Was as good a secondary coach as I've ever seen in my life, and now he's become an outstanding coordinator on top of that. Can't say enough about him. I would sidecar for a second. There can't be anybody in the country that's had two jobs that's, at his experience level. He's worked at the University of Toledo and the University of Iowa. Those are the only two jobs he's had in his life. And that's such a rarity in college football anymore. So I feel very fortunate that he stayed with us. But he's an outstanding coach, and boy, every day it's a challenge with him. I mean, he just wants to see people get better, and that's what we're supposed to do as coaches, and he does a great job of it. And the entire staff's really good. So, that's the best part of my job, quite frankly, working with good people.
It's just interesting to me that he's not chasing the paycheck. I mean, you look at the defensive coordinator for the national champions, went 6 hours east, for a paycheck, it seems like, or disagreed with the head coach, something like that. But Phil is loyal. You've been loyal to him. And what's your relationship like? Because Phil's an eccentric guy. I think we can all agree to that.
Did you notice that? He's unique.
He's unique. Yeah. So how do you work with him and just kind of know? I'm sure by now you kind of know how he works and what areas to.
He thinks very differently, and I don't want to speak for Phil, but I'll share one story. This is probably back, I don't know how many years ago, 15 years ago, maybe longer. Somebody in the SEC made a really nice offer to him. He was not a coordinator here at that point. It's a coordinator job, multi-year contract, better money, the whole 9 yards. And he went in to see Norm. And Norm Norm's one of those guys that had pretty good wisdom and pretty much said what somebody had said to me once. He says, remember this, Kirk, when they hire you, they move you out to the job. When you get fired, they don't move you back. And I think he shared that same wisdom with Phil. And sure enough, that place, it was a good-looking offer. A year later, they were all gone.
Yeah.
So, but not everybody's going to listen to that kind of advice either, and Phil did. I think Phil has a clear idea of what he likes, what's important to him. And to me, he's got great priorities. So it's been a good mesh, just I think our program and what he's looking for. I always admired Phil as a player when I was an assistant here in the 80s. I always thought he could be a Stoops.
Yeah.
I never met Phil, but thought he could be one of the Stoops brothers. And that's a high compliment. So it was great to have him join our staff. And it's been 26 great years working with him. And I look at him every day in the staff room, like I'm in this seat and he's right at the other end of the table. And he gives me the damnedest looks. I mean, it's like, anyway, but I've learned to, that's just Phil being Phil. So God only knows what he's thinking, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Yeah.
He's just wired differently.
Oh, yeah,
right?
He's a defensive guy all the way.
Yeah,
All the way.
absolutely. All right, we will talk NFL draft when we come back.